Hi, Flick here from the Nerd Soapbox, and today we're at the 2022 Pasadena Comic Con with a special guest. Our guest is an actor and voice actor, best known to the Nerd Soapbox gang for the monsters he voiced in the Power Rangers, including King Sphinx, I Guy, and Gendrax. He was also a villainous bluesman in Trigun, and then the title role of Kenshin in Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin. And, well, we're talking to Richard Cansino. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Fist bump. All right, blow it up. So, Richard, how's your convention so far?
So far, it's been pretty good. A lot of people, a lot of people coming up and wanting to talk to me, and which is unusual because usually people don't want to talk to actors, especially voice actors.
What was your fandom growing up? Were you into sports or comic books or cartoons?
Well, I was into sports big time.
All right.
I was a big Dodger fan. Yeah. Sandy Koufax and Maury Will. I met Maury Wills, and you don't have any idea who I'm talking about, but he was a big
Dodger
deal.
Blue, I get it.
Dodger Blue, yeah. And I watched all the Disney cartoons,
right.
and Bugs Bunny and those guys.
Fantastic.
Casper. You ever meet Casper?
The friendly ghost?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I met him before he died. Was it Richie Rich?
Oh my goodness! You
wasn't
met him?
that the same guy?
I don't know.
I didn't look like him.
You didn't kill him, did you?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
That was another puppet.
Wow. That would have been ironic.
That would have been bad.
Yeah.
I don't do bad things.
Good.
I have a question for you that's been burning in the back of my mind for like almost 30 years now.
Wait a minute. I see
right
it.
There, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So I've already mentioned that you provided voices for a number of the monsters on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's true.
How do you come up with a voice for a man made of eyeballs? I mean, or any of the other monsters, like maybe King Sphinx for that matter. How do you come up with something like that?
Well, they look. I just go by what they look like.
All right.
And King Sphinx, I just thought he would talk like that. Are you okay?
I'm okay. It was just
I didn't scare
really getting to me there.
Yeah. And other guys, there was this one guy, his name is Kegler. See Kegler?
Oh.
That guy. And he was kind of like an accountant he talked like, because he was big and round, when he talked like that kind of thing. It's just how they look.
All right.
Like if I were looking at you, I'd talk like this. I'd say, "Hey, baby, my name is Flick. Would you like to go out for a ride with me in my convertible?" Because that's what you look like to me.
Whoa.
Because girls dig a guy with a blue nose.
And a bow tie.
And always.
All right. Yeah. Chicks dig the bow tie.
Yeah. That's it's true.
So when you recorded the monster voices for the first season, were you aware of what a phenomenon the Power Rangers would become?
No, absolutely not. I had no idea. My friend Steve Kramer was one of the writers, and he actually came up with the phrase, "It's more phenomenal," and he's like, that was his. I just showed up because I auditioned for this guy Kegler. And when I was there, I'll give you a show business secret.
All right.
So they give you 2 hours of time. Okay?
Yeah.
They pay you 2 hours. Whether you do one line or 20. Oh. So, I had a few lines with Kegler. And they'd say, we got these other guys, monsters. Just, why don't you do this guy here and that guy there? And so I ended up doing all these other guys. And they show them to me. I go, well, I guess this guy talks like this, you know, whatever.
Wow.
And that's how I ended up doing all these weird voices.
Okay.
And you know what's weird is that I never thought that Power Rangers would be such a big deal.
Oh yeah.
You know, but then I realized that, you know, when you're a kid, that's your favorite show.
Right.
You know. So when I was a kid, it was the Mickey Mouse Club.
M-I-C.
K-E-Y. M-O-U-S. And I always wanted to meet Annette Funicello.
Who didn't?
Exactly, especially when she grew up. But that's, you know.
But that's another show.
You can't do, you know, you know, but, you know.
This is Kegler.
Yeah, you want to be Kegler when he grows up. Who cares?
Well,
Although I do look good in a bikini. Just saying.
You were the English dubbed voice of Kenshin. In Japan, the character was voiced by a woman.
Yeah.
Were you given any direction in the audition process to try and match your voice, or were you allowed to come up with your own interpretation?
Well, I think they already figured out I was feminine enough naturally.
Wow.
So yeah, no, they just said just do your thing.
So according to was it Clark Chan, who localized the scripts for Media Blasters, a lot of the Kenshin dialogue didn't really directly translate to English. How difficult was the dubbing process for that particular show?
Well, the dubbing process is really not up to the actors. It's up to the writers. They write the words that the actors come in and dub into the mouths of the characters. Now it's interesting because there were two different versions of the entire Kenshin series.
Okay.
And one was dubbed by, written by friends of mine.
Yeah.
And they, you know, we were all from the Western culture,
Right.
you know, and we didn't understand a lot of why they kept talking about in the sword fights and things.
Yeah.
We didn't understand why Kenshin would say, I'm going to, the bad guy would say, I'm going to attack you using the scorpion method. And Kenshin would say, well, in that case, I will defend using the butterfly method. And they'd go back and forth talking like this.
Right.
And we didn't know.
And nothing happened yet.
They would just stand there telling each other these things.
Right.
And I didn't understand. You know, we were making, this is so stupid. Why would they, you know, when you're a pitcher at a baseball game doesn't say, I'm going to throw you a curveball, and then the hitter says, well, then I'm going to reach across and hit it to first base. You don't do that. You fight.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we didn't understand. And then later, when we were doing the second version of it, in between, I got cast in a movie.
Yeah.
And there was a guy on the movie set, and he was into kendo, which is Japanese fencing. They use wooden swords. And he was telling me, he says, well, Japanese kendo is different than Western style fencing. You know, in Western style, you just do and you react. He says, with kendo, what they do is there's different positions. There's the lotus position. And when you strike the lotus position, the other fella says, aha, you defend that with the position of the dragon. And what those guys do is they strike poses back and forth until somebody makes a mistake, and then you go in.
All right.
And so now suddenly everything was clear to me, and I understand, that's why they're talking to each other instead of doing anything.
Okay.
So that's difficult to make that translate to Western perspective.
Okay.
You know, but other than that, it was that was for the writers to come up with.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've worked in English language dubs on countless anime films and TV shows over the past several decades. How has the industry and fandom changed compared to when you first started?
I think overall, it's a lot bigger than any of us anticipated it would be. When we do this thing, when you dub, you're all by yourself.
Okay.
You're not with other actors around, unless you're doing background voices.
Okay.
So you're all by yourself if you have a lead character, and you're in a little room, a little booth, and microphone, and there's padding all over. We'd say, we'll see you in a padded cell, a padded room, And there's the director, and there's the engineer.
All right.
And there's basically usually only 3 people. And you have no idea, you do your thing, and you're thinking, I don't know if anyone's watching this. I have no idea. And especially now I come to these conventions, and people are telling me how it changed my life, or it did this, it got me through a really hard time in my life. And you look around, and there's like, I don't know, 1,000 people here today, and that never would have occurred to me when I was starting. I was just an actor, lucky enough to get a job,
You have so many IMDb credits under your belt. Are there any particular roles or projects you feel especially passionate about?
Well, for anime, it would be Kenshin.
All right.
Kenshin. And there was a couple of live action movies that I had fun with. And, there's this guy here. That's, see this guy?
Oh, yeah. Is it the Star Trek?
That's Star Trek. And I played this Dr. Garen. He was an alien scientist on this planet where the moon was crashing into the planet, and Captain Picard and the Enterprise had to grab the moon with a tractor beam and rescue the planet. And this bad guy Q, who's kind of like this all-powerful being in the universe, and he makes all kind of trouble for it. So that was a fun 2 hours of makeup.
Wow.
2 hours of that. And then this is kind of hard to see, but that was me playing a transvestite lady of the night in a movie starring Charles Napier, and a little B movie. And what was interesting about that was, aside from me being, completely, I had a partner in the movie, and that was Joan Chen. I don't know if you ever heard of Joan Chen. She was the empress in the movie The Last Emperor.
Beautiful.
I had a big crush on her.
Who didn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't still?
Yeah, but she wasn't attracted to me. I don't know why. And I had drag and the whole thing.
Maybe she doesn't like curly hair.
Maybe that's it. And then I played this French chef on Hannah Montana. That was kind of fun.
So you're part of an ADR loop group and have done a lot of ADR work for feature films such as Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. What types of looping did you have to do? Did you voice any monkeys or anything?
I didn't voice any monkeys.
All right.
What I did was, I had, in an earlier movie...
Okay. You played a transvestite.
I played a transvestite.
A transvestite gorilla.
Oh my goodness. No, James Franco was the lead in this movie.
All right. And he played the transvestite
gorilla. He played the transvestite. It was a movie called The Great Raid. And
The Great
Raid. And he voiced the beginning of the movie.
All right.
It was like a voiceover for him.
Okay.
And they kept rewriting it, and because they were trying to explain the beginnings of World War II, and blah blah blah, and they kept changing the writing. Well, they didn't want to hire James Franco to come in, and it would cost them a fortune.
That's true.
Because he was a big star, and so they hired me to sound like James Franco.
Oh, wow.
And I went in, I don't know, 5 or 6 different days, and I did his voice. Sounded just like him. Sounded just like him.
Wow.
So I told that to the guy that was the leader of the ADR group, Johnny Gidcombe.
Okay.
And I just said to him, you should hire me for this because I did the voice for James Franco. I sound just like him. And so he said, you're right.
Wow.
But he didn't have any lines. All he hired me to do was breathe. Breathe like James Franco.
Okay.
Running. There's a scene where he's running through the woods, the forest.
Right.
That's not him running. It's me going, it's him running in my voice. I did one movie. They did the Alamo.
All right.
The last version of the Alamo.
I remember the Alamo.
You remember it?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where it was a very dramatic scene.
Oh yeah.
And a young boy about 15 years old was dying. It was very sad.
Yeah.
And he was taking his final breaths. And so they said, Richard, would you do the breaths for this? I said, okay.
Did you breathe like James Franco?
No,
okay.
I breathed like myself.
Oh.
And the director, after I was done, he said, can you make his breathing sound younger?
Wow.
And I did.
That's fantastic. So what's an obscure voiceover or voice acting job that you had that your fans would be surprised to know was your voice?
That's a hard one. My guess is probably, well, I would have said this guy, King Sphinx. Because do I sound like that? Do I sound like that to you when I'm talking?
A little bit.
What?
It's just a little bit, sir.
Anyway,
So what are you working on now, Richard? Besides this puppet interview?
I'm doing a couple of dubbing things, but they don't let me talk about it. They're also.
That's okay. I'm a puppet. They don't care if you tell me.
Yeah.
Just ignore the camera.
They
Ignore
don't.
the camera.
They don't care who I tell. But
Here,
I can't. They make me sign a contract.
You're getting sleepy. Sleepy. You're silly. I like it.
Yeah, they don't let me talk about it. But there's.
Are you on social media?
Not really. I'm on. I go on Facebook and things like that. But to tell you the truth, Facebook kind of scares me. There's so many different things to do on Facebook, and I don't know what. I guess I'm really old because I don't know what to. What is that? And you go into this. These matrix kind of things where you get lost
sucked down a rabbit hole.
Sucked down this thing and you never get out. So I go on occasionally, I say, but I rarely say anything because I don't think I have anything that's all that interesting to say, So unlike everyone else, but
well, every puppet has an opinion.
Yes,
it's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when you say give me a hand, it means a whole different thing to someone like me. Right? I mean,
what?
Give me a hand. For me, that means help me or give me applause. For you, it's somebody shoving a hand up my rear end and making my mouth go. I don't know.
Okay, Richard. Gee, Richard, thanks for talking to us. Here, fist bump. Woo! All right. Well,
thanks a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, this is Flick from the Nerd Soapbox, and let's see who else we can find at the 2022 Pasadena Comic Con.